The moment I saw him glance over his shoulder, checking if anyone was watching before pulling his hand away from mine, I felt something inside me quietly shatter. The music was loud, laughter echoed through the grand hall, and yet, in that crowded room, I had never felt more invisible. I wasn't just a guest at my fiancée's party. I was a secret. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and knowing your worth even when others don't see it, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. The party was everything Oliver had promised it would be: lavish, glowing, filled with people who wore confidence like designer suits. It was hosted in a sprawling mansion in Los Angeles, where crystal chandeliers reflected off polished marble floors, and servers moved gracefully with trays of sparkling drinks. I stood near the entrance at first, clutching my purse a little too tightly, reminding myself to breathe, to smile, to belong. Oliver had kissed my forehead before we entered, his charm soft and reassuring, but something changed the moment we stepped inside. His posture stiffened, his grip loosened, and before I could understand what was happening, he had guided me, not toward the center of the room, but toward a quiet corner near the bar. He told me it was just for a moment. That he needed to greet some people. That he'd come back for me. But minutes turned into an hour, and the truth began to settle in like a slow, painful realization. He wasn't coming back for me, not in the way I had hoped. Every time I caught his eye across the room, he would give me a quick, almost apologetic smile, but he never called me over. Never introduced me. Never even hinted that I was anything more than just another stranger in the crowd. And then I saw it, the way he laughed a little louder with them, the way he placed his hand casually on another woman's shoulder, the way he became someone slightly different when he was around his friends. Someone, polished. Someone who didn't seem to have space for someone like me. I looked down at my dress, simple but elegant, something I had chosen carefully, hoping he would be proud to stand beside me. But in that moment, it felt like I had worn the wrong life altogether. The truth was, Oliver and I came from very different worlds. He was raised in wealth, in circles where reputation mattered more than reality. And me. I had spent most of my life avoiding attention, choosing simplicity over spectacle. I never thought it would matter to him. Not after everything we had shared. Not after the late-night talks, the promises, the way he had once looked at me like I was everything. But tonight, I wasn't everything. I was hidden. I tried to distract myself, sipping on water, pretending to scroll through my phone, but my chest felt heavy. Questions kept echoing in my mind. Was I not enough? Was he ashamed of me? Or was this just who he truly was when the world was watching? I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I didn't want to ruin what we had over one night. But then again, wasn't this night revealing more than I wanted to admit? Just as I was about to quietly leave, to slip out without making a scene, something unexpected happened. The front doors opened again. At first, no one paid much attention. But then the energy in the room shifted. Conversations softened. Heads turned. There was a subtle ripple of curiosity, followed by a wave of recognition. I turned too. And in that single moment, everything changed. Standing at the entrance were three figures I knew all too well. My father, tall and composed, his presence commanding without effort. My mother, graceful and poised, her eyes scanning the room with quiet intelligence. And my older brother, confident, protective, always a step ahead. They weren't just guests. They were my family. And not just any family. They were known. Respected. Influential. A family that didn't seek attention, but never went unnoticed. I felt my heart race as their eyes found mine almost instantly, as if they had always known exactly where I would be. My father's expression softened, just slightly, but I could see it, the understanding, the silent question, the protective instinct rising. Around me, whispers began to spread. People started recognizing them. Their names carried weight, their reputation built over years of integrity, philanthropy, and quiet power. This wasn't the kind of attention that came from wealth alone. It came from legacy. And suddenly, I wasn't invisible anymore. I saw Oliver turn, confusion flickering across his face as he followed the direction of everyone else's gaze. At first, he didn't understand what was happening. But then, realization hit him like a wave. His eyes darted between me and my family. And in that instant, I saw something I had never seen before. Shock. Regret. And something deeper, fear. He walked toward me quickly, his confident stride replaced with urgency. For the first time that night, he reached for my hand, not to guide me away, but to hold on. But it felt different now. Too late. Too reactive. Too forced. My family approached us with calm dignity. My father greeted Oliver politely, his tone measured but not cold. My mother smiled, though her eyes held a quiet strength. My brother simply stood beside me, his presence enough to remind me that I was not alone. No one raised their voice. No one made a scene. But the shift was undeniable. The same people who had barely noticed me moments ago were now watching, curious, intrigued, suddenly aware of my existence. And Oliver, he tried. He tried to explain, to recover, to introduce me properly this time. But something inside me had already changed. Because it wasn't about the introduction. It was about the intention. He hadn't hidden me because he didn't have the chance to show me off. He had hidden me because, until that moment, he didn't think I was worth showing. And that realization hurt more than anything. I gently pulled my hand away. Not out of anger. But out of clarity. My father didn't say a word, but I felt his silent support. My mother's gaze met mine, filled with warmth and quiet pride. My brother gave me the smallest nod, as if to say, "You already know what to do." And I did. Before we reach the ending, I want to ask you something deeply personal. If this story is touching your heart, take a moment to engage with it. Like, comment, and share your thoughts. And here's a special request. Comment, "Know your worth," if you believe no one should ever be hidden or made to feel less than they are. Because that's what this moment was really about. Not revenge. Not embarrassment. But truth. I looked at Oliver one last time, not with anger, but with a calm understanding. The kind that comes when you finally see things clearly. When you stop making excuses. When you realize that love should never make you feel small. And then, without creating a scene, without raising my voice, I walked away. Not alone. But with the people who had never once questioned my worth. As we stepped out of that mansion, into the quiet night air, I felt something lift from my chest. It wasn't just the pain of that evening, it was the weight of doubt I had been carrying for far too long. And in its place, there was something else. Peace. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is not prove your worth to others. But remember it for yourself.